Welcome back to another GBGuns Armory series. As a reminder, the guns in this series have already been reviewed in full over on the website. Check the pinned comment for that stuff. That's all your facts and performance and specs and stuff like that. The Armory series is where I give you sort of my thoughts and feels. And I was late to the game with the Canik MC9LS. It was the only Canik of the last 15 Caniks that I hadn't yet reviewed, but I had done the MC9, the MC9L, and of course the Prime. And I know a lot of folks asked, isn't the LS sort of the Prime Light? They are the same form factor, same barrel length, same grip, and of course both Caniks. And having shot the two somewhat recently to one another, I took this thing out recently after mounting the new O sight on there and wanted to get a feel for it as well as group it again, because as you may recall, of all the guns, somehow this was one that I didn't group too well with in the original review. So I shot it just the other day, and of course have shot the LS more recently. And I've got to say, no, they are not the same gun. The slide mass is a little bit different, but the traction is quite a bit different on the Prime. You see we've got a more aggressive texture, and you see how high it comes up on the frame versus a less aggressive, not coming as high on the frame. And the triggers, though it's just the difference in shoe, the trigger feel is different. Do I think that makes one better than the other? I think that depends on your personal taste. For me, the Prime, also with that magwell on there, that really helps for my banana hands to stay on the gun and not get bumped off or be hanging on the edge. But the LS in its own right, I think is an excellent pistol. It's what I was hoping it would be, and that is a slim, rangeable carry gun. And what I mean by that is somehow we've gotten into this black hole of making compromise after compromise on our carry gun in the name of comfort. And I suppose there's logic to that. Ideally, fingers crossed, we will all carry our carry guns far more often than we'll need to use it, right? And so when weighing between performance or comfort in shooting or ease of loading the mags or how well you can do with it at a course, things like that, I think a lot of us compromise on that in order to have something lighter, slimmer, easier to carry, stuff like that. And I think the LS fits perfectly neatly into that slot. The less aggressive texturing on it means it's probably not going to rip up your dad bod or mommy belly as much, including the reduction or the lack of traction up on these sides here, which the Prime has. I was really impressed with it. Had a great, fantastic range day with it. I don't know if it was an A game for me or me being in sync with the gun, what the deal was, but really enjoyed it. The Prime gives you all that and some performance enhancements, alterations. I think it's probably easier to be quick and accurate with the Prime than it is with the LS, at the expense of having that more aggressive traction against your skin if you're carrying it, a greater area of that traction, and then of course the ports. And I've said it too many times, but I do have a video called An Important Discussion about the idea of carrying with ports. I've seen a lot of you echo some of my own thoughts, and that is wishing you could get the Prime with a non-ported barrel. I have not seen recently if Canik is offering the MC9LS barrel separately aftermarket that you could slip into your Prime and have a non-ported version for carry. I think that would be excellent. You can leave the ports in the slide. Slide mass reduction is always a good thing. But I wouldn't want to be in a defensive shooting situation with those ports. That's my personal thing. The LS in its own right, on its own, excellent pistol. I think it's the best of the bunch. That might be because of my banana hands, but it's also the longest slide, so you're getting the most energy. You're getting closer to what ammunition is made for. Remember, in the US, ammunition is loaded for 9mm ammunition is loaded for a 4-inch barrel unless it specifies specifically otherwise on the box. So all of these micros and subcompacts and things that people love to carry, you do run the risk of the bullet being too slow to perform as intended when it hits soft tissue. That's not a universal statement. and ammo makers won't tell us what the velocity threshold is for optimal performance of their bullets until they do. It's unfortunately just a guessing game. I try to stick as close to 4 inches as possible to make sure that my ammo is going to do what it's going to do, or go for a plus P load like the Liberty Civil Defense that I carry in my 3 1/4 inch, shorter than this, summer gun. So I completely understand you there. Not bashing the short guns just means you got to be smart about your ammunition. With this having been out for so long, I'm curious how many of you have experienced it and have experienced its siblings, the MC9L or the original MC9 or the Prime, and what your opinions are between them all. I think for me, this is probably the best overall pick, but if I'm going to go to the range and want to kick ass, especially an outdoor range, the Prime, of course, is just fun, plus it's sexy. So those are my thoughts on the LS, and hopefully answered some of the questions that I've been getting about LS versus Prime on that. Let me know what further questions you have or comments, your thoughts and experiences. Remember, this Armory series is meant to be more of a Reddit thread, if you will, of people venting their experiences, because the stuff that I show on here has been out for a while. Thanks for watching.
GBGuns, to level level, I'm GBGuns, David F. Derrick S. Jr., Donald H. B2, Fast Eddie Gary B, George H. Greg K, Jenna I. Joseph T, Kevin B. Marvin T, Moses S. Peter A, Rich Scott King, follow 215 Tom. Thanks for the tip, level Alan B, Bristol County Jail, Christopher J, Clinton Cubby Bear, David G, David P, Ed C, Farhan N, DS 76 Gort, Glyphons 3JS, Justin H, Lee H, Michael W, Mrs. Doodle Pump, Ohio Crumple Red Sky, Robert E.B. Suits Hut, Summer G, Tap to Johnny, Uncle Lindsay Waha. Keeping things honest level, Adrian H, Brad M, Carol B, Daniel D.